Yeah, I know it's not that easy getting a business idea into reality. But if you are really determined about the determination, what's the word?
Determination.
Determination
Perfect.
makes you unstoppable. Yeah.
Oftentimes, we like to be in many places, but some of those places, they require standing in queues. We don't do well with queues. There are long lines and they take your time. But what if I told you that somebody could do that for you? You can go up about doing your work and they call you, or you call them when it's time for you to enter. Today we'll be joined by Trinity Hamau. He's known as a line stander. He and his colleagues, they stand in the line for you. All you have to do is pay him a certain fee and you get your spot. I'm your host, Sich, and this is Africa Speaks. Thank you so much, Trinity, for allowing us to interview this afternoon on Africa Speaks, and welcome.
Thank you, Stitch.
All right. So tell us about yourself. Who are you?
I'm Trinity Hamau, and I'm a line stander. I'm the one that gives the gift of time to anyone that don't like standing in line.
All right. So anything you want to tell us maybe about your childhood? Just like to start off in a little of a personal note before we get into your business.
I don't have much to share about my childhood. I can give you small details about my childhood. I grew up in the north. I was a shepherd and came to Windhoek, but in Windhoek I really had a wild childhood.
Oh, sorry, I want to go back to the north. You said you were a shepherd.
Yes, ma'am.
You looked after animals.
Yes, I look after
Then you
them.
moved to Windhoek and then... All right. Anyways, let's talk about why we're here today. You as a line stander. What gave you that idea that you wanted to be a line stander?
Okay, the idea came into existence when one morning my older sister sent me to Home Affairs to submit some work visa documents.
Yes.
So when I arrived there, the lines were long. They were moving, but I could not see any difference that they're moving. So standing there, the back aches, and so that's how the idea was. That's how the idea came into existence.
And when did you start being a line stander?
Started last year, 2021, but prior to 2021, that was 2018.
Okay.
I already had the idea, but I just didn't know how to put it into, how to manifest the idea.
Yeah.
So in 2018, I just used to show up at places, at busy places, and I'll reserve spots in front, and I'll approach the people at the back and ask them if they would love to move it up front.
Yes.
And if they said yes, and that's how I made the extra $50.
And then now in 2021, you thought like this could actually work as a business idea.
Yes, in 2021, I made it legit.
Okay. So are you working alone in this type of business, or do you have somebody working with you?
Yes, I have my colleagues working with me.
So how many people are we talking about here?
We have 3 people, 4 including me.
Okay. So you guys are males, females?
Oh no, we are males for now, but we are looking for females as well.
You are looking?
Yeah.
So let's assume there's a female right now that is watching and they want to be part of Trinity's line standing business. Then how can they become part of the whole group then?
No, they are welcome. My number is all over social media because there are days when we just all 4 of us can't really accommodate all the appointments. So yeah, we do need their help as well.
Okay. So roughly about how much do you charge and for how long is that the duration, for example? Let's start off, how much do you charge for standing in the line for someone?
We charge 200 per person.
Per person.
Yes.
So does the duration of how long you have to stand matter, or you can stand for until it's time for the person to get their spot?
No, the duration does not matter. But however, I do have a specific time that the client has to be there.
Okay.
So anytime more than that, yeah, the clients does compensate us for, yes, but from their own will, not, yes.
Oh no, it's not from. So they have the 200. You have the 200 fixed, right?
Yes.
And then if you go now, maybe beyond too much time, then the client decide themselves.
Yeah,
that
they
want to
compensate.
compensate you,
Yeah.
and not you wanting. So maybe just walk us through some of the places that you know, like your common places that you guys normally stand at.
Oh, my common place is Natus, Northern Industry.
Yes.
Natus in town, Home Affairs. 2 months ago we did the schools, the 2022 application
Yes, I think
forms.
I saw for Delta.
Yes.
There was also one in Comazda, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it was
No, I think it was Pioneers Boys.
no, it was Delta. It was Orban.
Yes.
It was Eros, and it was Van Rijn. So as the school is reopening now, we are going to do Pakis. It's in Pioneers Park.
Okay. Okay. So what is the earliest that you have ever stood in a line, like in terms of hour, like the earliest that you have ever gone to stand in the queue?
Just few minutes to 5.
That's your earliest that you've ever gone, few minutes to 5.
In the
So
morning.
when you go and stand in these queues, what are some of the, not tools, but what are some of the resources that you normally take along your line standing job?
At times I take along a camping chair. But since it's winter, it's mostly just my winter outfit, and that's all.
You know, like you don't take along food, you don't take along water.
No food at all. I can be on my feet the whole day without water and food.
Okay. So maybe it might sound personal, but what made you say, of all the business ideas, I want to be a line stander? Was like a situation that drove you to say, let me be a line stander? Apart now from the fact that the lines, you know, with Home Affairs that your sister sent you, but just the situation in this country, looking at it, was the situation in this country maybe did it lead you to become a line stander?
Yes, I always sought for ways to make money, and I thought the best way to earn more money will be business. So I always thought of ideas and
So roughly, no, I don't want to sound too personal, but I just want to know so that, because there's someone out there really who's watching and they don't have anything to do, and they would say maybe, why not become a line stander? Because for me to be a line stander, I don't need capital to start. All I need is myself. But maybe like roughly in a month, how much do you make with your team from line standing?
it depends. They fluctuate. So today I can have 5 clients and tomorrow 10, or a day goes by, no appointment at all. So I wouldn't have a fixed amount that I make in a month. But yeah, of course we can somehow close to 10.
Okay. With this, like the amount that you guys get, do you pay yourselves monthly or do you pay yourself daily or weekly? Because you are 4. How do you pay yourself? Is it like a monthly thing, a weekly thing, or do you give yourself every single time somebody pays me, then you just keep it?
No. So I pay my guys daily.
Okay.
So for my colleagues, it's a daily wage.
It's a daily wage. So
Yes.
they collect the money, they come give it to you, and then you obviously give them
What belongs to them.
what belongs to them, their share. Trinity, I just also wanted to know, this type of business, is it dangerous? Because you need to get up, you know, so sometimes so early in the morning, and because I know, especially for the schools, you guys were there before 5, because I saw on Facebook. But is it dangerous to go out there, you know, during that time when really there's not really so much movement?
For the schools, we actually go a day before.
Yes.
And so we arrive at the school around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And we stay there, we sleep there, we overnight there. And until the next morning when the schools open. And that's when our clients shows up as well.
Okay, so I want to know, like, for example, in terms of school, do you just stand for one parent? Or can you have, let's say, for example, let me give an example of Delta, right? So maybe there are 5 parents who want forms at Delta, and they contact you, and then you guys are 4, and then let's assume your colleagues are in other places. That leaves you alone. Now, do you just stand for one parent, or can you as alone, can you stand for 5 parents?
Yes, actually I've authorized to stand for 3 people.
So the school allows you to get, like, not the school actually, your clients get there just before the school open or just before?
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
Not that COVID is really over, but yes, we had COVID a bit more last year than, not that it's gone, but it's just a lot of closed downs in comparison to last year to this year. How has it been for you in COVID in terms of line standing with all these social distances and only certain people are allowed, a certain number is allowed to be in a certain place? With COVID, how has it affected your business?
Well, COVID really hasn't affected me much because just no mask, no entry. So have a mask and then you end up. But as I said, the idea was born in 2018 as I was testing it out. That's the year when COVID came out.
Yeah.
So since the outbreak of COVID, I didn't do anything only till last year when I resumed it.
Okay.
So it's something that has always been there. And the day when my sister sent me,
and then it just came to life.
It came to life again.
Okay. I wanted to ask you now again on being a line stander. What are some of the challenges that you have faced yourself being a line stander? Because there's no business without a challenge. Definitely, whatever sort of business it is, you face challenges. So what are some of those challenges that you have recalled ever facing?
Yeah, the only challenges I only face 2 challenges here. So the first challenge is my clients arriving and putting them right at their spots. So that means shifting these people behind back. So if I put someone before you, that means you are a step back.
Yes.
Yes.
But you move out, and then the client goes.
Yes, of course I moved out, but still, at times I can perhaps place 2 people in front of you.
And what is the other challenge?
So the other challenge is people making appointments and not showing up.
Yes, talking about people making appointments and not showing up. Do people pay before or after you have stood in the line for them?
Good. So they actually pay after. Yeah? So we were thinking of before, but people have trust issues. So we take the risk. So that's how we face those challenges. So yeah, the payments are done after. When we exchange money for their spot in line.
Not that I'm in a place to advise you, but wouldn't you maybe consider asking a 50% payment? Because with a 50%, you win some. Because when a person is paid 50%, they are more encouraged to come, and take their spot. Because by not coming, they lose the 50%. But at least you have gained some. Yes, you have not gained 100%, but you have gained a 50% of what you're supposed to do. So maybe you can look into that idea of maybe asking your clients to pay a 50% before and then the other one after. Just a word of advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, did you ever encounter clients that just don't pay? Like they show up, but they just refuse to pay?
No, never.
You have never met.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Plus, those ones that don't really show up, payments are still valid. That's just the policy of the line stander. So you set an appointment with us, and I show up, you don't show up. I kept my end of the deal, so you end up paying still.
But how do you make them pay? What if they say that I didn't show up? So what am I paying for actually?
That's why these policies are discussed as they make the appointment.
Okay.
So we let them know how things go. And I thank life that all the people that come my way, whether they show up or not, they were always willing to pay.
Oh, that is great. And since you spoke about policies in your business, what are those some of the policies that you have that you know that your company runs by these policies? Apart from now, you don't show up, you still have to pay. What other policies maybe do you have that people that are watching and they would actually want to use your business? They know that if I call Trinity, this is what I'm getting myself into. If maybe you have.
No, I think that's the only policy for them to know. The rest is just company policy like staff policies.
Okay. I also wanted to know, in terms of payment, right? You said it has to be done before. But now in terms of them coming or needing your services, let me try to rephrase this. So let me try to get the question in my head. How soon should they let you know that they need your services? Or when do they have to call you? How many days before the service is actually needed? That's what I want to know.
We actually prefer 24 hours prior to the task. You give us the when and the where, and just like that you can consider cutting yourself full line.
All right. So do you prefer your bookings done via like a telephone call, or do you prefer it done via a message?
And it's okay. So if a client message me, I always call them back. So, but if they call, that's right too. But if you send me a message, we'll call you back.
All right. So, just in general, how is life for you as a young man in Namibia? I know my country, with all this unemployment, with all this, life can be tough and challenging. So, for you?
Now, for me, I don't have much to say about the country. I don't really involve myself with nation matters. No, not at all.
No. You just prefer to stay out and all those things.
Not even with politics.
Just prefer now. Okay, now talking about young people still. You are a line stander. It's a business that does not require you to put in any cent. What word of advice will you give to a young man or a young woman out there who is sitting at home doing absolutely nothing for themselves and just waiting for the government to do something for them?
It's good that you mentioned the government doing things for people. That I actually don't like getting any help from the government. So we have a word that we call it government cheese. It's like I'm always telling those close to me, like, don't depend on the government cheese. So I don't really have much advice for the youth part, because I'm not the type of person that tells you what to do and not to do. And if you have any dream, just make it happen. Make it happen.
Yes, like you said, you are not a person who advises the youth they should make it happen. But sometimes people just need a little bit of encouragement.
Yeah, I know it's not that easy getting a business idea into reality. But if you are really determined about the determination, what's the word?
Determination.
Determination.
Perfect.
Makes you unstoppable. Yeah.
Okay. Trinity, where can people find you if they want to get hold of you? as a line stander? Your contact details, your social media, because that's the only way they can find you.
Yeah, we have a Facebook page, that's Trinity Line Stander, and our contact number is 081 0429 446.
All right. Is there anything you want to say to people that are watching, people that would want to use your services? Now this is your moment to market yourself.
No, just skip the lines with us.
Trinity.
Yeah. Skip
But
the
you're
lines.
correct. You are correct. Skip the lines with you. But thank you so much that you made time out for us. But before I let you go, what is your goal for Trinity Line Stander? Like what is your dream? What is your vision? Or what is your dream for you? Just to yourself.
Also for Trinity Line Stander, it's to make it nationwide. And for myself, is to venture into other businesses. Cause
You have businesses in mind? Because you never
Yeah.
know who's watching.
yeah,
What businesses do you have in mind? Don't get into details so they steal it. Just like what kind of business you would like to venture into.
stealing it is not a matter. So it's not what you do; it's who does it. So, yeah. So this one, it's not yet, of course, registered. It's also just something we are putting in to work. But so far, we did have a client. So this is more of a personal escort.
What is a personal escort?
It's a personal escort. It's a business. If people live in fear, just to step outside their home, they live in fear. There are robberies taking place and what. So in that matter, we can escort you to your destination and back to your origin.
Okay, but it's not yet materialized. But if a client, if a person right now calls you and say, Trinity, I want an escort, are you willing to do the business?
It is material. It's not just yet registered.
It's not yet registered, but it's in motion. Let me put it that
It
way.
is in motion.
Okay, so maybe you can also just give us a little bit about that. You know, you said that it's just being escorted to places, right? But how exactly does that work when a person is escorted by someone? Do you like take them with a car, or I'm very curious to know. In case, because right now this country is not safe. You know, as a woman, I'm afraid to get in a cab. So does it mean if I need to go in a cab, I call you and then you go in a cab with me?
Yes, in such matters, like in a cab, will be in a cab with you, and if you have your own car, will be within your own car. Sorry for now, we do not own any vehicles.
Yes,
but
no,
in
don't
the-
be apologetic
yeah.
because that's what I'm saying. If people are watching, you never really know who's watching. Maybe someone out there has the money, has the car, they just don't have the personal. And you have the idea you are the personal, but you don't have the car. But for now, you have the services where you say, I can escort you in your car.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
escort you in the cab.
Yeah.
So it's more like a bodyguard
Of
type
course,
of
of
service.
course, yes.
Okay. And same number if somebody needs.
The same number, of course.
Perfect. That is so great. Thank you so much. You know, I'm learning. Really, I have learned. I did not know anything about line standing. I didn't even know what is escort business. But thank you so much for making the time, for sharing. Unless there's something that you want to add.
Oh, thank you to Sich.
All right.
Though it's a personal escort.
Right.
Yeah, perhaps the formal word, it's more bodyguard.
More of a bodyguard.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. And we wish you really the best with Trinity Line Standing or Line Stander and just your whole business ideas and yourself, you know, your goals, your dreams, your vision. We wish you the best from Africa Speaks. And thank you.
Thank you, Africa Speak. Appreciate it.
All right, folks, that's all we had for you today right here on Africa Speaks as we sat down with Trinity. I hope you really learned something from this young man right here. You know, he started his business without capital. Some businesses do not require you to have any money. And if you're a Namibian and you're here, especially in Windhoek, and you don't want to stand in long queues, they are available. Like he said, skip the lines with us. They will help you skip those lines. Remember to follow us on our socials. That will be at Henop TV on YouTube, as well as Henok TV on Instagram. I'll be seeing you guys next time. From Message and everyone right here. Goodbye.